Hello, welcome to Computer Programming in C++. Today we're working on formatting and commenting functions. Really want to emphasize the importance of proper formatting and commenting. So let's get to it. So here I'm looking at a program I read, and this is not well formatted or commented, hardly commented at all. I just put the title of the program and my name. And actually, let's try running this right now. So this program will calculate the distance between two three-dimensional points. Oh, good. I at least gave some information to the user. Enter the x value of 0.1. I'd say it's going to be 4, 5, 6. That's x, y, z. And then 7, 8, 9 will be point number 2. And okay, distance about 5.19 and change. Exit out of there. So the program works. Yeah, it could be a little prettier, but it does the job. But I look at my code here, and is a programmer, I'd be in trouble here. One, if I need to actually have somebody else read my code and understand it, they have some work to do. I did not set them up well. But even if it is me and I need to go back and read my own code, say 6 months later, and make some edits to it, it's going to take me a while to put my brain back in the place I was when I wrote this program. In fact, I might never go back to that place. I might never understand what I was thinking at the time I wrote this program. So I need to set myself up for success. So first thing I'm going to do, I have a small amount of spacing in here between different functions in my program and between my headers at the top, but I'm going to improve the spacing. So you can see here, through the magic of time travel, we've gone headed to the future where some spacing has been added. You can see this is already much easier to read. I want to point out a few things that I did. I used proper indentation within each function. And I lined up these braces. Not everybody does this, but I lined up these braces so I could see where this function begins and ends. This function begins and ends. This is a short function. Where this function, the main function, begins and ends. And I also tended to group concepts together into like paragraphs. I put an extra space between that. This is good practice. I actually want to change my spacing on this program right here, right now. I like the gathering information to be all together. There, that feels better to me. I got this concept for the gather information. The next thing I need to do here, though, is I was really succinct in my variable names, and that may be quick for typing the program once, but I'm looking back at this and I don't remember what function G does. So the next thing we're going to do, and this is good practice, is name my functions and variables a little bit better. At least something like, oh, that's the get info, or something like that. So I'm going to travel in time again while I do some renaming. Alright, now I've renamed quite a few of my functions and variables. I didn't rename everything. I'm not saying that every variable we ever use needs to be a full name, but I'm going to want some more explanation here eventually. But my functions have a name: get info, distance. So when I call them down here, I'm using get info and distance. It already tells me so much more about what this program is doing. It makes that a lot easier to see. And right now I am just running the program again because I made quite a few changes and I wanted to make sure it still works. Yeah, it still works. I used the same info, so I saw the same results. Okay, I still want to get to really commenting this program. So I've got my program itself easier to read, but some little bit of explanation about what a function does. Why do I have these pound includes up here? Things like that will help me when I come back to this at a later date, or some other user. So now I'm going to pause yet again and I'm going to put some comments in, and you will see a difference. So once again, quite a few changes have taken place here, so I want to walk through them. In addition to having the name of the program and who wrote it, I also put in just briefly what the purpose of the program is. It's a simple program. It didn't take long. When I'm doing pound includes, I will often say why I need them. The IO stream, it seems like we're always using that, so maybe that was not necessary. But CMath, I don't always put that in there. Why did I do that? And now I'm using a lot more space here to make it a little easier to see. Because here, what does the getInfo function do? Gathers user information. This function will be used repeatedly to get the coordinates of each point. Cool. Now I know what this does. Why is it even in existence? Same thing here with distance function. Said what it does. If these functions were longer, by the way, I'd probably put them at the end of the program and use a prototype up here. Let's see. Then int main. Now I say, why do I use these variables? I didn't need to say a lot, but it helps. This seems self-explanatory, so I didn't put anything there. This block, gathered data from user. Okay. Even simple things like this make it so much easier to read code. And you want your code to be readable. You might need to, your instructors might need to, and other people working with you might need to. Output results. And once again, I'm going to test again because I made a bunch of changes to my program. Did I accidentally erase a semicolon? Something like that. I better check. We can do the same data. I'm going to run another test because I said this should be floating point data. All right, so now that seems to be getting reasonable answers. I should verify with another calculator, but you don't need to watch me do that. So hopefully the idea here is that, okay, this is still kind of tricky to read for somebody new in here, but this is so much better than what I started with. This is kind of a convoluted program to do something simple. And getting into the mind of the programmer is a difficult thing, even if you were the programmer. So please use white space within your program, using tabs and enters, and use comments, and make your variable names make sense. All right. Thank you for listening.